Hi.
Hey, so what do you think?
It's I really like the swag. Where do you work now?
I work for Neon, by the way.
Couldn't tell. So you're not you're gonna cold start with that,
Yeah.
and no one's gonna know
No,
what just happened right before you press record.
no, I showed you something, but I don't want to reveal it yet because I think it's way funnier to reveal it in person at an All Things Web event. But it has something with
Yes.
to do with Neon. But I
Yes.
wanted to show it to you already because I think it's so funny.
Yeah. I
I
approve.
wanted to
I
see
approve.
I
The
laughed
battery
when
pack on that thing, or you have to like plug it into a wall socket or what?
I'm just standing at the wall. I was like, sorry guys, 5 more minutes.
Got my
Um,
extension cord. Yeah.
yeah.
USB-C at least.
It's actually the Tesla chargers,
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the same color, I think. Yeah. No
right?
one's gonna know what the heck we're talking about for like what, couple months?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Actually, we will have a first event sponsored by Neon mid-March, so I'm probably gonna bring it then. So mid-March.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it comes with like a little battery that I can put in my pocket. Yeah,
Okay.
that's as much as I will say.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, hi
Mm-hmm.
Eric, how you
Yeah,
doing?
Drake. Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I heard you bought a printer. Did it arrive?
I did. Yeah. I even think I pitched you this new $1 trillion startup idea of like Uber, but for printers.
Oh, you mean
Um,
Printerest?
Printerest, exactly. Um, but it turns out like if you can order one online, and just a printer, and you can have it delivered very very quick. So
So you
yeah.
don't actually need someone to DoorDash you the printed paper.
No,
No,
it'd probably be more expensive than just buying a printer.
printer.
Um, I did not buy the truckload of paper though.
Oh yeah, you have to explain that. That was really funny.
Yeah, so I was on a. Are we allowed to say like shopping websites that we visit?
Why not? Yeah,
I feel like it's fine. So
yeah.
I was on Amazon, and
Sponsored, by the way.
sponsored. Yeah, if they want to give us free Prime or something. Uh, just kidding. So yeah, I was on there. Andre was forcing me to buy a printer and walking me through the steps, and went to go get the printer at checkout, and Andre was like, "Did you get ink and paper?" I was like, I don't know if it comes with it. So turns out it doesn't come with paper. So I'm like, okay, gotta get some paper. And the options on Amazon Basics was like 20 pounds for like $9.99, which is like 500 sheets of paper. Three sets of those, so three reams. It's 1,500 pages, 60 pounds. And the third option, before five reams, in between three reams and five reams, the third option was truckload. And it was like $39,000, 4.2 million sheets or something like that. And you could select it in one tap buy now if you have buy now, one tap buy now enabled. So yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's too good.
Yeah. And
Oh
then it
man.
went like seven reams, and then at the end it was like pallet, but
Yeah, but the
truckload.
truckload has to be like a easy to find option. Right? Like
Obviously.
one of the
Obviously.
main call to
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
I just want to go whatever. I don't know if they still exist, but Amazon used to have those like quick buy buttons.
mhm.
You like buy one like laundry detergent, put it on your washer, and then you can.
Oh yeah, one of those buttons.
Yeah, you need that for the truckload of paper. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know who's buying on Amazon. Like if you're buying that much, it's probably worth your time to like find a good paper source. Like, work out a deal. Not like, yeah, this one's, it didn't even have Prime. It was like usually ships in 1 to 2 weeks. It's like, no, I need my truckload now.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Anyways, why did you need the printer in the first place? Like, why was I forcing you to buy a printer?
Oh yeah, this is like a classic scenario of like over engineering. We didn't need I didn't need a printer system at my house, full-fledged, tested, automated. Because all I need to do is print out. I need to print out like 2 government forms. One is like 2 pages, like a page and a half, and the other is like 10 pages or something.
But you had to get the laser printer. Oh god. Yeah, do you want to tell the audience what kind of papers you were filling out or had to print?
They're pretty relevant for this group. Yeah, it's a nonprofit. Well, we've already done the forming of nonprofit for all things web.
Let's go.
But then the next step is for us to get tax exempt status, so we can take in money from anybody, everybody in a tax exempt way, and
basically become an actual nonprofit.
Actually become
Yeah.
I think I just assume when someone says that they're a nonprofit that it means that they're tax exempt, but that's an extra thing.
Yeah. Why do you allow me to do this and then there's an option for you to tell me no, you can't do this?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are tons of startups that are, they don't make a profit, but that doesn't make them a tax exempt.
No, that's a different kind of nonprofit.
It's a different kind, yeah. That's where burning runways so that we can scale or something like that. I don't know.
The pre-profit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The longer you wait, the better it is. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're making All Things Web a nonprofit just to be able to, I mean, several reasons, but one of them is to be able to actually have like a bank account for it, get some sponsorship money to organize cooler events, buy our own food, and not always be reliant on a hosting company, but like try out different formats and stuff.
Yep.
And liability, right, is a big one. Just if we do more fancy events and something happens, that it's not Andre and Eric who are screwed, but just a nonprofit.
The nonprofit that then sues Andre and Eric for negligence or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hope that goes. I hope we're able to do this soon. I'm excited to see what we can do with that.
Same.
We have a quadrillion trillion ideas, from miniconf to stickers. Yeah. But step one is bank account, so we don't always have to use our own money for this.
I would say, and finding someone that can also then do the paperwork for us. That would be nice. Yeah.
You texted me the other day, right? Like, the first thing we have to do is find an accountant.
Yeah, I don't want to ever do this again. Our current lawyer and accountant is ChatGPT.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for that you did the docs and that I didn't have to do it. So thank you, Eric.
Sure.
Is there some reaction here? Is that like a thank you reaction?
Oh, is there reactions on here?
I was hoping, but I don't see anything. There must be, but I can't find it. There's media.
You can share your screen and it's just like an emoji. Whoa.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay.
I tried that out last time, and sometimes it's like not actually playing, but I guess you could also just overlay it later. I have to figure out Riverside over time.
Okay.
Step by step. Cool.
That's cool. So you have like a soundboard over there?
Yeah, there's like, I think there's like, I'm not sure if you see that too, but like on this right side, it says people, chat, brand, text, media.
I don't have all those things. I have layout, people, chat.
Oh, okay. So I see media there as well. Okay. As the admin, as the owner, as the manager of this realm, Eric.
Oh, you're a manager too? I'm a manager. We should hang out.
I was bluffing.
Oh. One of those.
Yeah.
What's on your mind? We haven't talked about the last meetup we had.
Yes, let's talk about the last meetup, then what's coming, and then I have one question for you today, which is Go versus Node.js. I want to pick your brain.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a fun one. Okay. Last event was at Sanity, end of January, and Rice was talking. Do you remember the talk?
Yes, I do. Reese told us, he showed us how to become a influencer on Twitter or X.
Yeah. How to be actually good at Twitter and not like me just announcing things with 5 likes.
Yeah, you have to get much more controversial in your announcements for all things web stuff if you really want to grow your following.
Yeah, maybe leak some environment variables while announcing a meetup.
That's good. These are good. He knows. He's a very good speaker on that topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a really good talk. And it is, by the way, on our YouTube channel. So you can watch it.
Link in the description, I guess. Or maybe you're already here. I don't know. How does this work?
If I remember to put it there, it's going to be in the description. So that was a really good talk about like how to engage on Twitter, both for product and career growth, right? And then we had a show and tell, which is not on YouTube because it was kind of hard to record. But yeah, we had some cool people show stuff, job opportunities. We had one person, I kind of missed that because I was in the back, right? Like taking photos and stuff. But one person was not actually a software engineer, but working for a DNA company. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think they were a biologist, a bioinformaticist that is just working with lots of like DNA data.
Yeah.
So I think they knew Python. I think like all the other scientists there, like the work, they're probably are all Python people, but they don't know how to build like front ends and like what they do is like it sounded like, at least I don't know, it's the first time I ever heard of them, but you if you're a biologist, you need to have like whatever samples you have of stuff, you need to get the what is it, the DNA sequence. So you have to get sequenced, and that's a pain in the butt to do yourself, and you need like a very, very specialized equipment and all that stuff, and so they do it as like a service,
right?
But I think the main thing he was saying was like they really need some help because their service is great, it's a good cost, tons of, it was like 50,000 customers or something.
Yeah. So it's established, but they need a better web.
Yeah.
Like experience.
Like, they deliver this data and it's just like a blob of data. And they're like, how do we make it look good?
Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. So they were looking for web people. That's why they were the web community meetup. That makes tons of sense. Okay. Yeah. I just heard they were like, oh, customers tried to revive the mammoth stuff.
Yeah. It was a good pitch.
Yeah. It was just like, what's happening over there? But it sounded really cool.
Mia's gone off the rails. Yeah. How to use JavaScript to revive extinct species.
Yeah.
That was good. We had a surprise show and tell from Evan Bacon, who I'm a big fanboy of in the React Native space.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. And it was really interesting. I think he just kind of like went with the flow, like what the meetup was about, and he was like, "Well, here's like a thing that I was going to tweet out, and but it's not really ready yet. It needs to be refined. Can you help me refine it?" And it was like a live demo. I don't know if we can say what. Maybe he's tweeted already, but some really cool stuff with Expo and AI interfaces.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. Show and tell, we're definitely going to do it more often, but that was fun. Yeah. I think we have to just enforce the 3-minute rule or something. And only allow like 4 people a session, just to like keep like people in the back became a little restless, which totally makes sense. Like more pizza came and stuff. So it's hard to pay attention. Yeah. Could have also been the room layout. Which made it a little harder. Right? It was like really stretched. So the people in the back were like further away. But that was really cool. Cool. Do you want to know about our next meetup?
Yes. Tell me. Where is it? Who's talking? Yes.
The whole spiel. We're going to be at Sentry on the 25th of February. We actually have not been at Sentry before for a meetup, only for a hackathon. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be the same space though. So the nice downtown office. And we have Aiden Bay talking, who is the co-author or maintainer of, I think, Million.js and then React Scan. So both are kind of related, and I'm pretty sure we will hear about that in the talk. It's all about like React render performance. Do React renders matter, and how you detect them and fix them? So he's big in the React performance space, and yeah, it's going to be a really, really cool talk.
Strong Twitter game as well, right? With
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a feeling he also stepped it up right after Rye's talk. I think he was present, so I was like, I think you, yeah, this sounds familiar, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be awesome. We have over 180 signups already. I set the cap to 200, like hoping that 50% show up or something, right? Like I think 100 people fit in the space or less. So it should be really fun.
Cool.
Really, really excited. Yes.
Sentry remodel as well, or is...
Yeah, so Sentry is remodeling their space. I'm not sure when that starts, but I don't think it's going to happen before this event. But we're going to be back at Sentry later. I guess it's next quarter, early next quarter in April for a hackathon. And by then the space, actually it's going to be end of April. By then the space should be updated, which is also exciting to see the before and after.
Yeah, I remember the hackathon we did there in the fall.
Yeah.
The thing I remember most is just seeing people with the Vision Pro.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Yeah, our goal this year was to do more hackathons, but it turns out it's actually pretty hard to find a space that does weekend events. So yeah, I was reaching out to a ton of different offices and spaces, but yeah, most of them are shut down over the weekend. So it's kind of hard to convince them to pay for security and all that, like come in on a weekend, right? So shout out to Sentry for being so super flexible and supportive.
Sure.
And yeah, excited to be back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one thing I didn't even realize until organizing meetups like at my company's offices was that like even during the weekdays, like the plans that most companies have is like at 6 p.m. or something like that, like turn off the HVAC, save energy and all that. So if you don't like communicate with the facilities people and like, then it's going to get really hot with a bunch of people in a room for a couple hours.
No, I understand why the policy is just nothing over the weekend, because it's just super complicated, right? Like you have to think about so many things. You have
bringing
to
people
security like sometimes let's say you only rent like one office out of a suite of offices in a bigger building, right? And the security is not there over the weekend. Like if it's not your own security, it's really hard to organize that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Cool. No, but February is our next event, February 25th at Sentry. We will also have a talk by Sentry, by the way. Speakers to be determined, but it's going to all be a performance theme. Not sure if I highlighted that on the event page, but I'm always trying to find like a theme now for the events.
Yeah. They've got some like newer tools in the last year plus around performance. Yeah. Cool.
Web Vitals, but also like node performance and stuff, right?
Yeah, and you had like flame graph stuff, and the session replay I think also has like a performance element to it as well. Where you can like watch someone like navigate through your web page and also see it's like you have the network inspector and I think like the performance tabs from like Chrome. Essentially, like you have all that information right there in a replay. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will probably find someone from one of those teams, I would imagine. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Are you ready to talk about Node.js versus Go?
No. Well, let's do it. I'm not qualified. You should know that, first of all. Well, it's the problem with the internet, Andre, is that you don't have to be qualified.
Exactly.
We could talk about it. But...
What did Rice say? Just speak with authority. And
there's only one option between Node and Go that makes sense for... No, see, I can't even do it as good as Rice. It's like, it would be like, you know, no, I can't. And then if I say it, it just sounds mean. It'd be like, only dummies would use Golang, or only dummies would use Node. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
This is why I have like 3 followers on Twitter.
Okay. Let me set the scene, and you will. It's not a controversial topic. I'm just I've used Go before. Before joining LinkedIn, I was an intern / later external contractor for Mercedes, and one of their cloud apps was built in Go. And sometimes when the backend engineer didn't have time for me, little AWS Lambda JavaScript developer, I had to go and touch the backend that I was calling from my Lambda functions.
Okay. Where's the backend running?
That is a good question. I think it was probably also a Lambda function, or it may have been like a EC2. It was probably on AWS. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This year I wanted to pick a programming language to learn.
Ooh,
so this is just like, it's not like trying to evaluate Go as a programming expert, but just like, hey, I want to learn something else than JavaScript. Right, I've been using.
Well, you got your answer right there. If the goal is to learn something else besides JavaScript, the options are Node and Golang. You should choose Golang.
No, okay.
All right, that was easy. I was like, oh, I'm not prepared. I'm not qualified for this.
Solved.
Nailed it.
No, I wanted to learn something other than Node.js / JavaScript / TypeScript, right? So I've written Java a bunch at LinkedIn. I've written Go a little bit, not that much, right? Like I have some previous programming language experience, C from college and stuff. But I've never done something over a longer period of time outside of work, right? And that's usually where I learn the most, right? It's like sit down, read the docs, watch YouTube videos, really try to build something and get better at it, right? I thought like, hey, maybe this year could be the time. And obviously there are some options that are popular, right? Like what's popular? Python, I guess, Elixir, Go, Rust, and I guess that's kind of it, right? Like maybe Zig. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I was thinking about. I've also been talking with Tony about this a bunch. So he has like a similar goal. But then I don't want to learn a language without a use case, right? Yeah. So it's like, what do I build? I build apps usually, right? Like I don't web apps more specifically. I don't even build iOS or Android apps, right? I'm not even interested in all that stuff you're doing there. Not that like React Native stuff, right? Sure. I like the open platform, the one that everybody can use. I'm just kidding.
No, it'd be wonderful if they were open platforms too. Yeah. So
sure.
Sorry. Now I'm like old man yelling at clouds about the walled gardens.
I just wanted to trigger you.
Success. Nailed it.
So I did some embedded stuff in the past too, right? Like played around with like Python, and I guess technically you could use Zig or C for that, right?
Or JavaScript.
There's JavaScript, I guess.
There's an ECMA spec for embedded JavaScript.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Like as a JavaScript developer myself, I will find reasons and ways to run React to render my kitchen fridge mini UI.
Well, you can use React in a terminal now, right? Like you can render to the terminal, I think, with React.
Yeah. Actually, I have a plan to do something like that with Sebastian for all things web.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But
sorry, tangent. Yeah. It's still that should be a topic we talk about at some point. Is the JavaScript embedded, because it's wild how they make it so resource efficient.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about that with JavaScript, but yeah.
Okay.
In the topic,
I build apps, and I don't really see myself building something else, right? What do apps need? Usually, it's front end, back end, maybe some cron jobs, some background services, right? So one programming language that comes to mind then is Go, right? Like I think initially Go was kind of talked about as a systems programming language, but I think most people use it to build cloud services, right? Like that's also, I guess, where Google is using it the most, right?
It came from Google, right?
Yes. Yeah. Fast concurrent, like simple to write, simple to read, little verbose. So it's like, oh, I guess Go makes sense, right? Like it's the more performant alternative to Node.js. If you want to do an application, presumably.
Yeah, like out of the box, like.
Yeah. It's just going to be probably more performant just because it's not JavaScript. But then I was kind of thinking about what to build.
Yeah.
And by the way, I found something now where it's like, okay, I think that's a great use case. Okay. But the first thing I thought about is like, okay, if I build an actual web app, I would build it obviously with React Router Remix or Next.js, right? Something like this. So you already have a server, web server, and a web client. So if it were a server, it would be like a backend service that I'm calling from my backend for front end web server.
Okay.
But usually I don't build applications that are that complicated, right? Like all things web.dev, right? Like, I don't need a backend service. We were using Pocket Base as our CMS for a while. I migrated off that. We can talk about this another time.
Okay.
But that is a Go application. So, okay, I guess All Things Web was actually using a Go backend to some extent.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't want to build a CMS myself from scratch, and I'm not going to just consume a database and Go and then forward it to my Remix app. Like that sounds silly. So it's like, okay, maybe like one like actual background jobs that are just like, the first thing I could think about was like a trading bot. Okay, if I have like just something running in the cloud, right? Like that is just computing running over data. Would Go be better there? Would I use it there, right? So I played around with Alpaca a little bit. Alpaca is this, I think it's a YC company. I'm not even sure, but they're definitely a newer provider for trading APIs. You can use it to buy stocks in crypto, and it doesn't have fees. And it has nice paper trading, so you can test stuff out. And so it's like, okay, cool. Let me play around with this. And I spent some weekends doing that, like early January. It was a ton of fun. Learned Go a little bit. And I have like a nice little first version ready that was not losing money. Like paper trading only, right? Like test trading or back testing on historic data. But it was also not winning money. I think I was barely able to keep the inflation level. Buying like trading NVIDIA, right? If I would have just hold, it would have been way more. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So like, so my idea was basically have one main thread that is waiting for WebSocket events to come in. Always when one comes in, process it, decide if there's a sell or trade, and then make that post request to the Alpaca API, right?
What's on the other side of this WebSocket?
Alpaca, like the API provider.
Okay, so you're opening a socket.
Yeah, and like I want to listen to NVIDIA, Apple, and 10 other stocks. And every time a price change comes in, I make a decision. Like, oh, this is the price change. Okay, let me check my current portfolio and make a decision. Should I sell? Should I now buy? Whatever. Yes. So when I say WebSocket, the only thing that comes through there is price changes from the stock market from Alpaca. That was the simple first implementation, right? Like you have one thread, one like main thread. It starts running, immediately connects to the WebSocket. Starts listening. Every time something comes, it fetches the latest data from the database or like updates its global app state accordingly and makes a decision. And then I was like, okay, it works. Next step, how do I incorporate more data sources, right? Let's say I also want to read from Twitter, or I want to make sure that like my source of truth is in a database, right? So if anybody else changes something in the database, for example, me in an admin dashboard, right? I'd be like, executive decision, Apple purchases are now blocked, right? Like I want this app. I don't want to redeploy this app to take effect. I want to immediately have it like, oh, something in the database changes. So like I want to have like different threads waiting for things and like updating the main state. But using, basically it's just a lot of like callback function. Like I'm waiting on a lot of IO with callback functions for something to happen, right? Like it's just a WebSocket to Twitter, a WebSocket to Alpaca, a WebSocket to the database, like more or less, right? And I'm just like sitting there. So the threads are just waiting. And then if data comes in, they do like a millisecond of work, right? Like just like if else set this, maybe update this, and then they sleep again. And that just seems so silly to me.
So when I think of the first thing I think of with like multi-threaded stuff is what are the things that are shared? So like, is there a single source of truth for data that's shared, that would be shared? The first thing I think of in this context is the pool of money you have to play with, the portfolio of assets, the total amount of money, your target and stuff like that of like target allocation or whatever the heck. All that stuff is shared, right? That's not, you don't have multiple sources of money, presumably.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay. So one other thing, you will lose if you try to push this to production and make money. Because there are not only are there like incredibly efficient systems.
I know.
For this
That
stuff.
was not the point.
There's also like the location bit of like where is your compute being done? Because like the high frequency traders
Yeah.
that do like they're listening to slight fluctuations in price, slight arbitrage opportunities where you could buy it here and sell it for a fraction of a penny more here or something like that. And they're literally have the compute sitting in the stock exchanges building. We're paying a premium to have it a certain amount of meters away from like the reconciling like trade engine or whatever for the exchange. So you will not win, even with concurrency.
Wait, you don't think I can buy a Lamborghini with that?
No, unless it's Laravel.
Nice.
But
no,
so okay,
it's a hobby project. Yes, I absolutely am aware. Yes.
Have you? So it sounds like your concern is that you've got like a like a stream of things that could be happening. You're just listening to all the time.
Yeah.
And then from different places.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you want to act on them.
Yes.
And then when you do, that's really like, so you got that's really where you're going to be running these like little, very simple like Go functions.
Yes. My main thread is influenced by some of the information some other threads may provide. And I was like, hey, super performant. This is a long-running server. Let's just have everything in memory so I don't have to refetch the database on every price change. So I can beat those high-performance traders.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, now I have a lot of global state. And all these threads do is change this global state. But now, since they all operate in the same global state in parallel, I need like thread locking, right? Like I need to be able to kind of say like is it called a mute? I forgot what it was called. Like
mutet?
Mutex, yes. Just like started to look into it before I paused the project. Like, okay, kind of understand simple Go now, right? Like how to run it, how to build it, typing structs, how to maybe like have different files and modules. Okay, cool. Next thing, listen to WebSocket, read it from a database. Cool. Thanks, ChatGPT. Thank you. And it's like, okay, how do I do threads? And then I kind of started reading onto it, and it's like, this is so dumb. Like this, I was like, I was really hoping this is a Go project, but it seems just like a Node.js project for like the level of like, like I wanted to find an actual problem where I'm like, Go is really cool here. Like it makes sense. It's worth it. And then I was like, I'm not sure.
So, okay. Have you looked at like event streaming architectures or orchestration frameworks or anything like that?
No. You mean in general have some more distributed system instead of just trying to do everything in one server?
Yeah. Because it sounds like, so since you're not doing like, are you going to try to like mimic like high performance trading or high frequency trading? I'm like high performance computing and high frequency trading. I'm like mashing them together. But are you going to try to like mimic that, or are you going to try to like make something that is like will occasionally take some actions for you or recommendations?
My goal was not to make it super complicated. I did not want to deploy more than one service. I didn't want to make this like a multi-lambda serverless Kafka kind of thing.
Okay. Because if you're not trying to like process like every single bit of information that's coming in from like listening to the like socket and whatever other streams of data from Twitter and all that stuff, then you probably only need, and you don't need to do like, millisecond or whatever. You could probably have like cold start. So you have like, I don't know if Alpaca is the first time I've ever seen their site, but like if they have some kind of pub sub service, so you're just like listening for like a certain like your rules that you're talking about, like executive decision, those actually become your interface for like your subscription.
I see.
And it's like when these rules are satisfied, that's when I want you to fire off an event that like kicks everything off. So your rules are static. There you go. There's your efficient resourcing. It's like it's just a static set of rules, and then that is your interface for starting anything up at all. And then it only starts up, when those are And then what do you want it to execute, or does that make sense?
Yes. So
It's
basically,
really lame. It's really lame.
No,
But
it's not. It's not lame. It makes sense. It's like, dude, you're trying to find a use case for Go, but then you're building like a really silly, like overcomplicated running server thingy that like just like wouldn't make sense in probably even in Node.js, right? Like it could, right? Like maybe, but like if you're really trying to optimize for speed, which it seems like you were trying to do, right? Then Node.js is also not the solution to whatever problems you're running into right now, right? So the alternative would be instead of having like one server listening to many different things and then reconciling it in global state, right? Like have different services listening for different things, doing their work, and then either emitting events that other things can react on, or update a global database that everybody reads before they make a decision, or something like that. That is then the shared state, right? And like the database makes sure it's synchronized because that's what they're good at, right? Yeah, no, that makes sense. I actually think I've found a better project for Go, which is, I'm playing around with image optimization for my conference talk, right?
Yeah.
And I built an HTTP endpoint for my Remix application that an incoming source image, right? Like some paths to some source original image and some width, height, and format. You fetch it, and then using Sharp, you optimize it, right? Works pretty well. Works well enough for all things web, right? Where you have a few dozen images maybe, and then you either cache them in the file system or you cache them in a CDN, and then they optimize, right? Like it's a WebP and nice. But I was like, okay, cool. I could also build like a standalone image service.
Okay.
But then that is where Node.js would be really bad at, right? Like you visit a page that loads all the event pictures at once. That page has not been visited before, or not in the current, I don't know, with height constraints of the browser, right? Or like never with WebP, or only with AWeF, right? And then 12 requests for 4K images come in at the same time, wanting to be optimized to 300 by 300, right? And then Node.js would choke, right? Like trying to do all of them in parallel, even if it streams it nicely in, right? Like it would not be able to process in parallel, right? Like because now you have to actually do compute in parallel, where this is where you need threads, right? Like if you have actually several CPUs, like a CPU that works well with different, supports different threads at the same time, you can actually do work in parallel, right? Versus with Node.js, you can do I/O in parallel, but not actual work, right? And this time it's about the work. So I was like, maybe I found a problem where I can apply Go. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like the first thing comes to mind is that there's probably a million packages and services out there that do this.
Course. Yeah.
Image Magic was one. I don't know if that's still a big one, but like 10 years ago, I remember having spun up a service for that.
Yeah. I know this is a problem, Eric.
Yeah. But yeah, like then it seems like a very fun one to do. It seems like, so this is all within like, so you want to do the multi-threaded thing.
Yes. And here you don't have to synchronize any state, right? Because all the works would be different incoming HTTP requests. So there wouldn't be everything is purely in parallel and nothing depends on each other, right? Like you have like a thread pool, and they just handle one request after the other, each thread.
Yeah. How does that work when like one an error occurs? How do you handle that? Like in one of the threads?
An error?
Yeah, like you do a retry or like
just
timeout?
Yeah, you would probably just like return a 500 response and then try to handle the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if one is just like you don't know why, but it's just like taking a really long time, what do you do?
Yeah, timeout in 500, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe we can end on this. I was like, okay, this is cool. Now I have let's say because I'm playing around with Fly.io, right? Like I have my Remix server running on Fly.io, and I have a dedicated image optimization server running on Fly, right? Just one machine. All image requests get forwarded to that. It does the actual optimization, stores the optimized images in like a file system cache, and replies with the beautiful optimized images, right? Like, great. No, I don't have that load anymore on my Node.js web server. It's like somewhere else. Okay. And I was like, I think Go would be way better here than Node.js. But then I was thinking, serverless.
So that's other,
Like, yeah, if every request just spawns another function, then why would you need threads again, right? Like, okay,
it's
the
the threaded way of or the not threaded way of making threads and doing it concurrently.
right?
So you're
Exactly,
just talking about like async
machine.
away to Lambda function or something like that. Like you send off, hey, I've got my image optimizer or whatever. It takes, it's just a function written in JavaScript, sits in an AWS Lambda, takes these parameters. Boom. I'm just awaiting that response. I'm awaiting that response. I'm awaiting.
Yeah. On every new image optimizer request, just spawns another function, right? Or reuses one that just finished.
I'm sure that there is a question there around cost at large scale.
But or obviously also the scale, right? Like one machine won't be able to scale. Lambda functions will, but they're probably more expensive. And then probably I also know that you can run Golang in Lambda functions, right? And then you don't have to deal with all the complexity of threads, but you may still have a better performance because it's Go, right?
I wonder, is there like, I know like AWS is like default and everything, but I imagine like Google Cloud Platform, GCP, would probably have like better Go support because it's Google.
Oh, no. Apparently AWS has really good Go support. I think cold starts for Go are really good. Like even, I think probably better than Node.js. I don't even know, but like they really, that's not, it's has great support for Go. Yeah. So you could do that too. Don't need threads anymore and can use Go still. But then my question is, and I know you don't have an answer, but just like, that's why I'm thinking, and that's the last one I promise, is like, okay, cool. Now I'm using Go or Node.js, right? Like same program. I'm not gonna write the code that actually like fetches an image byte by byte, right? That's not what I'm doing.
You're not? Okay.
No, I'm gonna use libv, whatever it's called, the C program that actually does that job, right?
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is passing down, like calling C functions from Node or Go. So does Go actually do any work? Because it's in the end of the day, it's C code, right? Like if you install Sharp, you're installing the binaries, and then like all you do is just like hot potato the stuff over. So if I do that with Bun or Node versus Go, does that actually matter?
It's like you're just choosing which syntax to write it in.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Go is way more performant because it's like compiled down. So like it's all compiled together and you don't have to like cross from JavaScript to C. But like, I know we have to ask someone else for that. We should find someone who's good at this and then basically play back the same episode or have him react to us talking and we pause. Yeah.
I mean, now we're joking at the beginning about like Zig and Rust.
Yeah. I mean, that would, yeah. Yeah, we need someone to explain to me, answer my questions I just raised, basically. But I wanted to share what I learned, what I'm not understanding. So you can tell me that you're not qualified to answer any of these.
I'm not qualified to answer any of these. Yeah.
And propose me, like a real consultant, propose me event-driven distributed system.
You need to be concerned with scale first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all things always come back to Kafka.
Yeah.
Did you know that was invented by LinkedIn and open sourced?
Kafka?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a LinkedIn thing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Shall we wrap it up for today?
Yeah. I think in conclusion, we should bring on experts to understand programming.
Yes. That's the motivation why we have guests next session.
Awesome.
Hopefully. Awesome.
I'm excited.
Cool. It was nice chatting to you, man.
Likewise, dude. Bye.
Yeah.